Okay, everybody, here is my new and improved language reader program that is available on GitHub if you'd like to use it. This will read stories in any language and translate in any language. So if you're an English speaker learning Spanish or Italian or French, you can run it that way. Or if you're a Spanish speaker learning Italian or a Korean speaker learning English, whatever it may be. The thing that drives it all is the lexicon that sets this up. And once you have that created, and I have a GPT, custom GPT, that will create that lexicon for you in the format that you want it to be in, you need it to be in. You click here and open it once you have it. This one here is my Spanish to English lexicon. Right here. It is all the lexicons are in a JSON format. You don't have to really necessarily worry about that, but it's the format that it's required to be in. And then over here, you could see when I open this up, it says that it's going to translate this from Spanish to English. And it shows me how many words I have in my dictionary and the status of the different words that are in my dictionary. Which I will explain momentarily. And then you can open up any story here. So anything, I'd recommend that you just use simply a TXT file. You can have your AI generate a story for you in your target language. You can uh, you can um, scrape stories off of the internet to read, which I have done. Maybe I'll show you one of those. It doesn't matter. Whatever text is, as long as it's in the text format, you click on the button and load your file. So here I had my AI write the Cinderella story for me in Spanish. So I'm going to click OK. And now you see that it's color-coded this story based on the words that I have in my lexicon. So if they are white, this is saying that I know these words. So these are words that are in my Spanish vocabulary. I've learned them. If they are blue, it means that they are brand new words that I've never seen before, and which is not totally true. It's just that my dictionary isn't completely up to date. I can also have yellow, which means that I've seen this word before, but I may not necessarily have it memorized or know what it is yet. If I mark something as familiar, that means that this is a word that I'm pretty sure I've got down, but maybe not quite known yet. And then finally the known, of course. So here I could click on this word. I could say ellas. It means they, feminine. I already know this word, but just to demonstrate, here you could click on lookup, and this will open DeepL and give you the definition. So you see here it says they. I could just click on the copy here and come back and just hit Control V. And then now I could set this to whatever I want. Since I know this word, I'm just going to click it known. And this automatically saves to my dictionary. And you see that the number of known words has gone up in my dictionary. So you could just continue to read stories. Your dictionary is independent of any story. So from now on, anytime that I open a story and it has AS in it, it will mark it as known. Anytime here we have madrastra, which means stepmother. I just learned this word. But anytime now that I open up a story article and it has this word in it, it will be yellow until I advance it to one thing or another. I also added the ability to mark things as ignored because sometimes you get like, especially if you're doing articles, you might get somebody's name and it's not really a Spanish word, so you could just come in here and mark it as such. So this is Cinderella. Just to show you this, I can hit ignore, and now it shows you all of this Cinderella in Spanish. I'm just ignoring that. I'm going to turn that back on. I think really I'm going to mark it as familiar. Um, and so this allows you to read story after story, article after article, but keep track of all of your words and everything along with it. You can also do phrases, and this is important because some languages uh, you have phrases that kind of mean something. Now, let's see if I can find one here in this story. There may not be one. I'll just pick this one as an example. So, poco después means a little bit later, but I can hit Alt T, and you see up here that it says poco después. I can hit lookup. It opens up DeepL and gives me that dish shortly thereafter. I can hit copy, come back here, Control V, and then I could say scene, for example, and hit close. And now notice this is underlined. So it has saved that phrase as a phrase in my dictionary, and it does a dotted underline so that anytime you see this phrase again, you'll know that you have that in your dictionary there as well. Um, and then the other feature I have added here is I like to rack up familiar words and then every once in a while just cycle through them with flashcards and decide if they should be advanced to known. So I can click on this button down here and it says 15. I know that is quince. There is quince. I can mark this as known. I can keep it familiar, or I can demote it down to seen, or I can just kind of skip it all together. I'm going to mark that one known. And so now I'm on to my next word. I decided to put numbers in here just because I need to learn these. So I can look at this and say it's 2012. And 2012, that is correct. But I think I'll just keep that familiar for now. So forth and so on. So you can just cycle through. Here's an example of a phrase. A menudo is often, so that's a two-word phrase. So that's stored in my dictionary's phrase, and I have it set to familiar. So you can at any time just go in and cycle through that. If you want to read another text, you could just hit clear text. That unloads this text. I can hit the button again. And here I have in a different folder some of the other stories that I loaded. Here is one that is a book about Facebook that I scraped off of CNE in Espanol, CNN in Espanol. And so this is a news article that I got, and you can see here that there's quite a mix of different words. And you can see that like Cambridge Analytica is a company name. I just said ignore that. I don't really want it to be in my count, that kind of a thing. Another feature that I added is that I also created a lexicon manager. So if you go over here, you can see I can click on open my JSON. Probably should say open lexicon, huh? And I'm going to open up that Spanish one. I'm not sure. I'm going to cancel here for a second. I'm not sure how much I want it to, uh, if it'll work with it being open in two places at once. So I'm going to close both of those out just to be safe. Go back over here. I'm going to open my lexicon. And go to my lexicon and pull it up here, right here. And actually haven't uh, tried it with this big of a file. So I'm glad it actually worked pretty well. So this is telling me that this file is, my target language is Spanish and my native language is English. And this is the second version of my dictionary lexicon. I've got 10,841 words in here. And you can go in here and just manually edit this, just like you've done. You can also search for terms in here. So if I type in like menudo, you see here that that is set to that. And I see that this is set to word and it should be phrase. So I'm going to change that because that should be phrase, not word. Um, Here it looks like I got a period somehow. So I'm going to do a delete. And I want to delete this one from my lexicon. And so you can add words. Maybe I'll add an upload feature. You can add manually here a new word into your dictionary if you really want to. That kind of a thing. And then when you're done, it will download this as a new lexicon in JSON format. And so if I go back to I'm going to close this out. If I go back to my language reader and I open it up, you'll see that I now have this new one that it just created called Lexicon English to, or Spanish to English is that dictionary. Okay, if you want to create a dictionary with whatever way you want it to be, I'm going to hit cancel here. I've included in my GitHub a link to my ChatGPT custom GPT, which I need to find here where it's at so I can show it to you. I pull this over here like this. And let's go to my GPT. And so you will be able to come in here and it is called JSON file generator. It's ever going to open. Thank you. And then so you can say, I would like, I need a lexicon for a Russian native speaker to English, target language, something to that effect. I think you can be, with AI, you can be pretty sloppy and it'll figure it out. Generate a starter lexicon. I got this thing in my way. A starter lexicon for me. And hit enter. And then here it says, sure, here's a starter Russian to English for a Russian native speaker learning English. So here it's got some words with the Russian definition in it in this file. Looks like I need to be more specific with it. Um, I need it in the defined JSON format in your instructions. Sometimes it can be a little stupid, that is for sure. And then here now is, okay, this is not following the instructions. Please look at the instructions for the precise format. You are missing the top of the JSON file. Sorry guys, I guess I should have tested this before I did a demo. Here we go. So now, up here at the top, it says my source is Russian, my target language is English, and then here it has created all this. So now I can just click copy, just go into any text editor, hit new, hit that and save it. And I can just say Russian to English, lexicon, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. .json, that's the critical piece. You got to make sure it's going to be saved in the JSON format. And then now if I go back to my language reader, I can hit open. And there is that lexicon. It'll always ask you, do you want to save changes to this? Here. And then if I open up an English text, it's not going to have a whole lot marked because it's just a little starter dictionary. But I do have an English story down here that I was testing with. I think it was called English Weather. It was an article about the weather. Weather story English. So I scraped this off of CNN. So now I'm a native Russian. I'm wanting to learn English. I can go in here and say formed. What is that? And then it will tell me, it's going to give me English on this side. Something didn't work right. This should say Russian, and this should say English. Oh, wow. Whatever that is. I don't know any Russian, so. And then I can mark it seen. And now you see everywhere where that word form is at, it says that I've seen it. Oh, yeah, something definitely didn't work right. This doesn't say English to Russian. So that's something I'll have to look at, see what's wrong. It's probably this dictionary is off. Finally, if we go to GitHub, let me see if I have it open here already. I don't see it. Right here is my language reader. And so I have here this program. I will add to it the dictionary editor that I just demoed. I got a few stories and a couple starter lexicons in here as well. You can download and use. So if you try it out, that'd be cool. Let me know how you like it. Let me know if you find any bugs like I just found and that sort of thing. And we'll see if we can't clean them up. But this is a free way to study text in other languages and keep track of your words. All right. We'll talk to you later. Bye.